Super El Nino is coming, and many people on this platform are not explaining why it forms, just what its impacts are. I'm climatologist Jake Stevenson. Stay tuned to find out. El Nino is typically formed when trade winds blowing east to west around the equator weaken. This allows warm water to pool at the surface. But why exactly does that happen? Well, we have to understand three main things. First of all, we have to understand why exactly wind forms. Second of all, we have to understand Kelvin waves. And third, we have to understand Rossby waves. I'm going to break that down for you. Wind is formed when you get differences in pressure and temperature in a 3D plane. So let's say that you have one area that's really hot, one area that's really cold. That wind is going to be rushing between those areas. But when you have a smaller difference, area that's a little bit warm and a little bit cold, that wind gets less. Rossby waves are a bit of a complicated phenomenon, but basically the Earth is rotating at over 1,000 miles an hour, and all of the fluids on that Earth, including the atmosphere and also the ocean, have to rotate with the Earth. But the Earth is shaped like a sphere, as you know, and so what happens is as the fluids are rotating around this rotating Earth, they get distorted a little bit. They form eddies. And one of the most common understanding forms of a Rossby wave is actually the jet stream, where you see those kinks in the jet stream. Those are Rossby waves. Kelvin waves are a little bit different from Rossby waves. They're smaller scale. So think about back to physics in high school. You have a reaction, you have an equal and opposite reaction. So let's say that you're in the ocean and you have winds that are blowing water across the surface of the ocean, and then they hit a continent. Let's say it's Australia. When they hit that continent, they then have to bounce back towards South America. Now, this typically happens normally when the trade winds are blowing, usually. Let's take these three things together, and that's how we get El Nino. Let's say that you have a Rossby wave kink that's abnormally warm. You get a Kelvin wave reflecting back towards South America, and that wave is also abnormally warm. So you've got two warm waves coming towards South America. When they both link up, you get a little bit warmer sea surface temperature than you would normally see. That sea surface temperature means that usually warm waters over the Atlantic are not too dissimilar from usually warm temperatures over the Pacific. Winds decline, the trade winds weaken, and can even blow back towards the east, and that's how you get El Nino forming. Hopefully that quick breakdown into why exactly El Nino forms made sense. Now, this isn't exactly set in stone. Many scientists still disagree about why exactly El Nino forms, but this is one of the most commonly accepted hypotheses in the climate community. If you have any further questions about climatologic topics, whether that's how our Earth works or climate change, be sure to pop them in the comments. And if you'd like a deep dive into how El Nino will be impacting the United States or other places around the globe, be sure to leave those there too. And always follow and like for more.